So, April, I'm honored to have you on the show today. I'm glad you made it down here safe to the 305. How's it been so far?
I mean, I had no idea the traffic was giving 2 hours to get 38 miles, but super
Mhm.
lesson learned there. But otherwise, I love Miami. I love Miami. Like, I
Yeah,
love Miami.
yeah.
Peace on every corner, the water, the sunshine, and the palm trees when it's not raining.
Absolutely.
So you're here to promote the brand, talking points about your upcoming show, album release. Like you've got so much stuff going on that where should we even begin? Like maybe Rick Ross undisclosed fashion show you're here for. Like,
Yes.
what are you doing this weekend?
That's what I'm here for. And we just layered a bunch of fun things in with us coming to town this weekend for the event. But I mean, just ask away. I'm an open book. Well,
Yeah.
almost an open book. But
So you're out of Dallas now. Now you're out of Texas.
I've been in Texas over 10 years now.
Wow. So you listen to chopped and screwed music. You listen to that Bun B UGK.
Absolutely. You can't be in Texas and not become a fan. So
Right.
I was already a Pimp C fan from the beginning. I mean, his voice was just so unique and raw and unfiltered. Like you couldn't help but then you couldn't help but love his music. But as you live in Texas for a long time and you start adapting the culture, like I'm a fan of Texas music just like I am down south music.
Yeah.
People say, well, Texas is the South, but I'm from Mississippi, so I would say Texas is the Southwest, but that's an arguable or debatable comment.
Yeah. Hip hop is basically worldwide now. We know it started way back, just celebrated 50 years, I think, last year. And it's impacted your life. Hip hop has impacted your life. And I'm amazed at how you went through early life struggles and became what you became, like a mogul. What driving force, what part of that would you attribute really to hip hop?
I spent a lot of time alone and I would just listen to music. And I mean, music dictates my life. I don't know if everybody feels that way, but if I am going to a job interview, it might be certain songs that I listen to just get me going. I'm like, I'm getting this job today. Or it could be a situation where I'm going through something in a relationship and that somebody has a voice that helps me get through the situations I'm going through. Like music impacts our life so differently. It's just that in my generation, I don't know a life without hip hop. And I think that we're going to be the first generation, be 80 years old listening to this music.
Yes.
When will we cut it off? I don't think we can if that's the only thing that we know. So, now you're starting to see like rappers, who are a bit older and still as impactful as they were maybe 15, 20 years ago. And I think that that's going to continue. I don't think there's a point where we're going to outgrow it. In my generation, we're hip hop babies.
No doubt. We all grew up in it. Go ahead, Jenny.
Music is just music. When it makes you feel something, that's good music. That's good music that's going to last and that's going to stand the test of time.
Right.
When it makes you feel something, it reminds you of a good time in life or even maybe a sad time in life, because that's what music does. It inspires you, or it takes you to some emotion, some memory.
Yes.
And that's, and that to me is why I always say we had the best music, kind of, like in the 80s and, stuff like that, because that's what music does to you. So my question is, I have a couple, but since you do R&B and rap, and what's your favorite? Like, what is going to make you happy? Like,
I'm a rapper.
If you weren't happy,
I wish I could sing though. If I could sing, y'all be in trouble. Y'all be in so much trouble. But I'm a rapper. Thing about this growth in my life is I'm such an introvert. Anybody that knows me knows, like, I'm a super shy, quiet person. Now, my family and close friends, they would argue that, but in the public, like, I tend to have a little bit of social anxiety that I'm working through. So this is like really something I believe in, for me to forego all of how I feel on the inside, my emotions, what my weaknesses are, and bring them to the forefront and say, here I go, judge me. But I believe in this pattern of growth, and this is something I feel like I have to do for me. So long, I think I was quiet about everything, and it's a lot of things like I just never talk about. But I'm at a point now in life where I feel like I have a lot to say. I have a voice, and so here we are at a point where I'm discussing it.
So, is there an artist that you would consider yourself similar to, or maybe that you're aspiring to kind of, be in that space for, have your music live in that space? Or are you just coming out of the box gangbusters and this is me? This is the music. I'm that girl.
I'm definitely a unique person. I can't say, there's so many talented people that I love and I listen to, but I can't say that I'm like anybody else. People just have to judge and see what they think.
I'm looking forward to listening to the music. I want to touch on something you talked about earlier. You've been listening to hip hop all your life, and now it's impacted your life. You started the London Productions, and that's going to be multifaceted. Tell me a little bit about that, and also why you think hip hop can be something that we have all through our lives. I want to see tours, with guys from the 80s, you know what I'm saying? Going on tour. I want to see stuff like that.
So this genre of music that we created, and you have to think about this, we're about 13% of the population in America, and we created a global genre of music that didn't exist. And it's undeniable, the reach. No matter where you are, no matter where you go, no matter who the person is, there's a hip hop song that they like. Everybody on this earth. And I used to say, well, everywhere except North Korea, but I was educated and I found out that there's a lowrider culture in North Korea that listens to hip hop. So it's expansive. And I just was thinking, like, how did we get here?
Right.
How did we get here? And I just wanted to be a conduit to start to tell those stories about the people who played a part in building all of these blocks that got us here. And that's where the idea for the show came about. And that's what Made is about. The power players, the big influencers, the top artists, like, tell us about the role that you played in the development of this music culture.
This is deep, man.
And you're right, too. When you're just down the street, or even like I live by the water, and even when I hear the boats going by, the music, it's probably some hip hop song. And then I go look out the window and some white older man or some white kid or something. And you'll be like, okay. Mm-hmm. But that's the power of music. Yes. It takes you across races. It takes you across genders. It takes you across everything. That's what I love about music, because you can't just say I should be this and then that's it. But no, I can listen to other music and I can appreciate other music as long as it speaks to me.
Tell us about your network that you're starting. Got a new show coming, Made. Mm-hmm. Moments, art, dialogue, expression, hosted by yourself. I mean, you are doing it all.
And that's how the music came, by the way. Yeah. So someone was like, they could say everything about you that you've never made an album. And I'm like, oh, well, let's make an album then. I got myself into that, right? But as I started to get into the creation of music, and I'm naturally a creator, I was having so much fun that I'm like, well, let's keep going. And I kept writing and I kept writing and I kept writing and I kept writing, and here we go. Here we are.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. You've been on the magic carpet ride, really. Hip hop, fashion. Again, you're doing it all. There's many facets to London production that I find very interesting. Tell us about your humble beginnings, though. The stuff you went through, the trauma, and how you used hip hop to help you overcome that trauma.
And a lot of our families, especially the generation of parents that were born in the 50s and 60s, I think that, in that time there was so much change and so much struggle, and then there's this freedom, but then there's this situation where they're still fighting for certain freedoms.
Yes.
And I just think that we came up to babies that were born in the 80s and the 90s. I think that we came up in a time where people were just still trying to figure it out, and they didn't have a lot of the answers. Because if you think about, and I hate to talk about this, but this is very true. People always say slavery was 400 years ago, but my great grandmother's mom was a slave, and my great grandmother died in 94, and that was during my lifetime. And I
Wow.
was able to know her and know who she was. And my grandmother, who's 92 now, is still alive, who was raised by, her mom, of course, and who knew her grandmother. So there's no way that people can tell me that slavery doesn't and still impact my life. It absolutely does, because those mindsets are very, very present in today. So if you think about the family structure, and that was the one thing that from that time going forward, they fought against. So again, as we still try to figure it out, a lot of us were born during that time. And with my mom being a victim of rape when she got pregnant with me, she didn't have the tools, and she wasn't equipped to know what to do to how to raise me. And I feel like she did the best she could, but that
Mhm.
business was never there. So I think that literally, and I had to, figure this out as I got older. I became an overachiever. Probably a little bit was like searching for her approval. I developed a lot of people pleasing tendencies because I wanted to make her happy. I wanted to make everybody happy. And one day it just hit me that I have to live this life for myself and do the things that make me happy, because at the end of the day, it's my life to live. And so now I just feel like I do a lot of things that make me happy, and I don't really care what anybody has to say as long as I feel good about it. And here we are. The businesses that I start, things have always came really, really easy for me. So a lot of people would say, "Oh, you're doing too much, or you have too much going on," and I'm feeling like I'm not doing enough. And so that's kind of like how I would say, answer that question.
Yeah, that's amazing. We're talking to the great April London here on the Jeff Fox Show with Jenny Jones and Fitz Davis. Fitz is not here today, but
He's on
if he was, yeah, he's on a special assignment. But if he was, I know one of the questions he would ask you is, where does that power, that inner strength that you possess? Because there's a lot of people that would say, woe is me. Like, stuff is stacked against me. You built a multi-million-dollar empire. Wow.
Several times. I've done it. What else is there? Like, what else do I have? Like, if it doesn't start with me, then like, who's gonna? I didn't have anybody cheerleading me and supporting me and saying you could do this, or so I just literally had to make up my mind that I wanted something, because there was nobody else. And with that mindset, you just do what you have to do. When people say you're not good enough to go to college, and you're like, man, who tells their child that? Okay, well, let me go figure this out, because I'm not gonna get that support and that strength over here. And I just learned in life to just let me be the judge of what I'm incapable of doing. And that happens by failure, but I don't tend to fail at anything unless I just don't want to do it. And not because I'm incapable of failing, it's just that I will keep going until I figure it out. Like, I don't give up.
That's crazy to me. It is, because to go through, again, the stuff that you mentioned, to know your family history as if you do, as you do as well. Education played a big part in all of this.
Yes, for
Like,
sure.
you have street smarts, but you could take it to the boardroom, the corporate room as well. Like, how do you handle all of it?
So it's funny. My mom would actually argue with you that I have very little street smarts, but with her being my mom, I think I'm a pretty wise person. But I've always been a super nerd, and my head in the books, and I think and a super soft spirit. And I think that being an entrepreneur actually made me tougher, because that having to do what you have to do when you have to do it, like, you're going to get that strength from somewhere. So I think that that's probably where my toughness came, because after a while, you're like, okay, he had so many problems, especially when I think at the height of my companies, I probably had close to 90 people working for me at one time, which is a lot of people to manage and navigate, and try to figure it out. Now that I have so much going on and things are a little bit more streamlined, I don't have as many people working for me, but you'll toughen up and you'll figure it out.
Wow. That's what we tell our kids, Jenny. At least what my parents told me. I became a single father, so I know this very well. I'm familiar with a lot of this that you're talking about. I wish I was as strong as you are, and I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm still trying to figure it out, Jenny.
Since you are like a generation or so removed, a couple of generations removed from slavery being actually in your household or in your immediate family, how do you feel about the N-word in songs, and do you use it?
This is the only time. I might have a controversial viewpoint of it, but this is the only time if you go back to the history of the word before it became and had such a negative connotation, it was used in Africa to explain us as kings to some extent. The notion of the word wasn't a negative one. It became one in America, but this is the only time where I feel like we took a word and we took it back, we owned it, bodied it, and generations later, maybe the people who called us those things, their grandkids are calling each other that. Most honest thing I could say, that word doesn't mean the same as it did to me, not to me, but to what we thought it meant or what it did mean a long time ago. Like, that has changed. It's almost like a bro, or or it could be anything. It's like bro, like, it's so many different meanings in that one word, and honestly, we overuse it in music. It's just a part of the culture, and if you pay attention to who's buying hip-hop, and if they like a song, eventually they're gonna start saying the word because they're into the music. And if we put it in the songs, we know who the consumers are of the music. I get it though, but at this point, like, that's just a fight I don't think we're gonna win if it just keeps being in popular music.
Yeah. I don't think that, we're going to win. I still feel a certain kind of way about it because I grew up in the country to where there was no mistaking what was meant by the word when I was called that. It was predominantly white where I grew up. There was like a handful of us, and it was just like a struggle every day, a fight every day, until you had to show folks that you weren't going to be pushed around. And so sometimes that kind of steers me away from some rap music. So, and like I said, I'm coming from an honest place. For me, that's
what? That's a very real answer and a beautiful one. But I also want to just put this on your mind and your heart, the resiliency of who we are as a people. Just really process this. The generations, the grandkids, and the great grandkids of these guys, that culture that demeaned us and called us these names, their grandkids are calling each other that word. Do you understand? Like, some of those people will be rolling in their graves. They said it to us to demean us, and we made it so popular and cool to be one that their grandkids now identify each other with that. And they don't look anything like us. That means you have white kids calling each other that same word. I mean, aren't we something? I'm just saying.
Resilient leaders.
Yeah. And innovative. And that's what you are, April London, because, again, news came, Jenny, I don't know if you heard, but BET is getting rid of the Soul Train Awards and getting rid of the the BET Awards, the Hip Hop Awards. And now I'm telling you, April, with people like you and the ideas and the way you think and launching London Productions, sky is the limit, because there's a market for a conglomerate like yours. Like, there's a market out there. And my producer, my CEO, Tommy Green, tells me all the time, why not us? Why not us? I'm always looking for approval elsewhere. And he's like, nah, stop doing that. He's always in my head. And he launched his company, Remix Sports Media, and we're rapidly growing right now. I find that inspiring.
Congratulations on your success, too.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. And where do you think the future of Black entertainment is now that they're trying to, because BT was sold, I think, to Viacom. Yes, and now there will be no more. What's the future? How do we continue?
We're just going to create something else. Absolutely. I don't think that we're going to be muted in any kind of way.
No.
As long as there's an avenue for us to discuss our thoughts, our feelings, our ideas, and we're going to create ways and avenues to do that.
Right.
Just like the guy with the seafood restaurant, that he's like reimagining it. Just because it goes away over here somewhere doesn't mean that somebody can take it and reinvigorate it and reinvent it and re-envision it somewhere else. Like Miss London, we don't have to put all our eggs in the BET basket. We can put them in Miss London's basket. Like my grandmother used to say, one monkey don't stop to shout. So like I said, we're deferring to people like Miss London to take us to new heights, re-envision it, or just do something totally different and just start a new culture. Start something new.
And I'm so fearless right now, y'all. I'll be the person to really just get in, dig deep, ask the right questions, and grow in such an authentic way. I am truly, truly, truly myself in this era of development in my life. And it feels amazing.
Yeah. Hey, continued success to you.
Thank you.
What else are you doing this weekend while you're down here? You got
pina coladas on the beach for sure. The best pina coladas are in Miami and in the Caribbean. The best.
Yeah, man. I'm originally from the Bahamas, and Mocha Bella, one of our big listeners, she just celebrated a birthday. She's from Jamaica. They just celebrated their independence. You're hitting on some facts right there. So tell everybody where they can find you online. Tell everybody more about London Productions, where you can be found.
So they can follow me on Instagram. I lost my social media, so I had to start over. I lost it in December. Not sure what happened, but I'm literally like starting from scratch with social media. But April London Official on TikTok and Instagram. The website is Made with April London, and I think it's theaprilLondon.com. They can find more information about me.
All right. Dr. April London. I say, Doc, I mean, you've done it all. You've done it all. And continued success to you, because trust me, you inspired somebody today.
Well,
you inspired somebody today.
A boss lady. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get my boss on. So inspiring for sure.
Well, let's do it together. Let's keep growing. Keep growing.
My co-host seems to think he's got some musical talents up there. You think you can help him out?
It. Why not? What's the rules?
It's a long.
Can't be worried about what anybody.
He's trying to be all modest.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Like, express yourself.
I drop a few bars here and there, you know.
Okay, so we gotta talk, Jeff.
We're gonna
get this out of you, like one way or the other. Like, we're gonna
I'm old school, man.
So
I'm old school. You remember when rap first came out? My name is Jeff, and I am.
Okay, then let's get it then.
Like that no more.
I'm gonna be honest. There's some people going, and I know you're not nearly that age for sure. There's some people going viral on social media for doing just that and being like older people.
Yeah.
And they're going viral just because like of the courage and confidence to just be expressive. We have to stop worrying about what people think of us.
Yes.
Just live your life, because one thing I can tell you for sure is that when they put us 6 feet under, we have to be happy with the life we chose to live for ourselves.
Absolutely.
And the thing is too, is that in the age of social media, it's wide open to do what you want to do, try what you want to try, and just find your place.
Absolutely.
Find your place.
Dr. London, April London, MC London, you do it all, man. And of course, we're looking forward to May, because she's going to move into our genre too. She'll be interviewing people, Jenny, from everywhere, all walks of life. I want to see you running the next award show, the London Production Award. Something. We're going to need something.
Okay. I'm going to manifest that.
Okay. Speaking it out into existence for real.
Okay. April, thank you very much, man, for stopping by the show. We really appreciate it. And continued success. I'm looking forward to the album. When does it drop?
October 10th.
October 10th. No
That's
doubt.
around the corner. That's around the corner.
I know.
Is it someplace that they can see you this weekend, or are you just doing you doing
No,
some
I'm
event?
not. I'm not outside at all. Just a
Okay.
few private events,
Okay.
and then I'm going back home. So
Uh,
I have a busy work week next week.
well,
You
Florida
bet.
was blessed to have you. Thank you.
Thank
Absolutely.
you. Thank you.
Thanks, Doc. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys.
Nice to
For the best in your auto transport needs, check out Express Auto Recovery in Miami and Fort Lauderdale. Why choose us? We provide nationwide coverage, fast and reliable service.